Hello, Derek Shapiro here from another edition of the Derek Shapiro Power Half Hour here in Greenville, South Carolina. Wow, that's the baseball stadium over there. Wow, I didn't even know that. Anyway, we're here in Greenville, South Carolina for the month of August 2025. We have one long interview of Adilah Barnes. I interview her every year. Let's get to Adilah Barnes. I'll say hello quickly to everybody in Rhode Island, parts of Massachusetts, Manhattan, New York, and Duluth, Minnesota. Also on DerekShapiro.com, leading Channel 1, DerekShapiro.com. New episodes jump off for the Booch and Shop section, RivRadio.com, OpenMindsRadio.com. Here's Adilah Barnes, right now, a long interview. We asked about Roseanne Barr. She had a song that came out last year, still on my Derek Shapiro charts with Tom McDonald, Daddy's Home. I reviewed that song with her and asked her about Roseanne's podcast. Adilah Barnes was on Roseanne. She played Anne Marie, and she was in Erin Brockovich with Hilary Swank, and I Enjoyed Angels with Erin Brockovich with Julie Roberts and Hilary Swank with I Enjoyed Angels. Here's Adilah Barnes right now. By the way, I'm not doing any trailers today, but No Lips, No Teeth, Chapter 3 still out now on movieintentchannel.yourlsite.com. All right, here's Adilah Barnes, Greenville, South Carolina. All right, we have on this program today, we have a long-time guest. She's been on my show for like 16 years straight now.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, since 2009. August of 2009. Wow. I looked at it, and I was looking at your old pictures, okay? Your old picture. You don't age. You're timeless. And, of course, I'm talking about you've been on CBS's Cold Case, right? You've been on I Enjoyed Angels with Hilary Swank, right? And you've been on with Julia Roberts, Erin Brockovich, and of course you were on ABC's Roseanne, and most recently you were on the CW's 4400.
Yes, and I just also, since that time, this year, I actually worked on a film, an independent film called Love the Skin You're In with Marla Gibbs, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Oba Babatunde. That was this year.
Really? Now, Marla Gibbs, she was known for the Jeffersons.
That's right.
And of course, I'm talking about to Adilah Barnes, of course. If you she was on 227. Tell me about how it was to work with Marla Gibbs.
Wow, it was amazing. You know, I first met Marla when I moved to Los Angeles in 89.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, Whitman Mayo was still alive, and he was the artistic director. So he hired me as one of the teachers. You know, he used to be on that show with Red Fox.
Oh.
You know which one I mean. Sanford and Son.
Yeah, Sanford and Son. Yep.
So he hired me. That was back in 89, and it was her school. So of course, I met her. And so Marla and I have known each other over the years. My Los Angeles Women's Theater Festival honored her one year with our Eternity Award. She also came back. She co-hosted a couple of times. She's come to just sit in the audience and see the shows. But we had never worked opposite each other as actors. Never.
Really? So are you, and when is this film supposed to come out?
I'm not sure. Last I knew, they were in post-production. I'm not quite sure, but I'll keep you posted.
So are you two going to be playing friends or enemies?
We're going to be playing friends. And it was really interesting because the relationship is such that we've known each other as characters for a very long time. Wow. And so it was a joy to work with Marla. And I must say that even in her 90s, Marla is very with it. She never asked anybody for a line on set. And she only glanced at her lines between takes if she needed to, which we all do.
Sure.
But she never, ever in our scenes, and each of the scenes she was in, I was in. I was in her scenes with her, and she was in 2 scenes, and we were in the scenes together. And so it was just a joy to see her as a pro, to not call out for lines. And, I've known others who have had scripts on the set trying to look at their lines between takes, but Marla never did. She's a real pro.
I have a 6-degree separation with that one, even closer than that. But so her co-star Sherman Hemsley back on the Jeffersons, I got to meet him because back in the day, this radio station, when I first got my start out, I was an intern. But before I was an intern, I went to their concert, and the likes of John Cicada and All for One. I don't know if you know this group. They were all playing at the concert, and the MC, one of the MCs at the concert, was Sherman Hemsley.
Wow!
And a week before that, my dad, sold insurance in Rhode Island. Actually, I'm in Rhode Island right now. I'm not in Georgia right now. I'm at my parents' house in Cranston, Rhode Island. So my dad was selling insurance, and I remember that during the time, he told me that he missed Sherman Hemsley by 5 minutes in the Olneyville section of Providence. And then that same week, he was at the concert of the former station where I was at, and I got to meet him, and he was very humble. Sherman Hemsley wasn't like the George Jefferson who you saw, or the judge on the Fresh Prince. He was very humble. Or even the Amen character. He was very humble.
That's good to hear.
And George Jefferson was very nice, and I got his autograph, and it's too bad. I wish I started interviewing people then, because I'm sure he would have been a nice interviewer to interview. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would imagine.
And I to this day, he's one of my favorite people that I ever met before I did radio. And just and then of course one time I was in New York City, and it's funny because the day we're recording this, NBC is having a tribute to Joan Rivers, the late Joan Rivers.
Today?
I guess tonight, as we're recording this, I guess they're having a tribute or something like that. I think it's tonight, maybe. But so I got to when I was in New York, I met Joan and Melissa Rivers, and I got to do a little interview, not as big as I'm doing with you, but I would do smaller interviews as a passing. And Joan and Melissa was very nice. You know what I'm saying?
That's good to hear too.
Yes. So it was very cool. So of course, you were on Roseanne for how many seasons?
6.
6 seasons. So what is your take on the Connors ending after 6? I think it was.
Honestly, I didn't even watch it, but I did actually see. I read part of an interview that they had with the one who played the character Lisey. So It was really interesting to hear her talk about what her experience had been, starting with Roseanne, then moving on to the Connors, growing up on the show. It was really a very warm interview that she had. Very warm, very heart-touching.
And do you think you would have been where you would have still been doing other projects if you didn't have Roseanne?
Well, if is such a big word. It's only 2 letters, but it's a big word.
Right.
I don't know what the difference would have been had I not done the show. I was already working. I mean, I began as an actor at 16.
Sure.
And it was the biggest role on television that I've ever had, having been there for 6 seasons. So you just never know, because I've always tended to work. So I was working before the show, I worked after the show, and certainly the show was memorable, not only for myself, but also for many of our fans who watched the show.
Yeah. Also, on one of my networks, I mean, Roseanne doesn't know this, but she has a podcast now, a Roseanne podcast, So I air her podcast on one of my other networks, on the Gossip radio TV station I have, because her podcast, I mean, I like to air different programs, and just air her stuff, and she speaks her mind how it is, you know what I'm saying?
She's always done that as far as back as I've known her.
So I want to play you this video that I put a link up, okay? And I want to get your thoughts. I'll skip through it, but she's in a rap song with Tom McDonald, and she's saying about how she boo-hoo, Trump won against all the liberals, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get your thoughts.
She was a Trump follower.
She's a Trump follower.
Or she being ironic about that?
No, she's a Trump follower. She was this song's kind of like
sarcastic,
dissing the liberals and dissing the people like the Connors as it went on, So I want to get your thought on this, okay? And I still play this on my playlist. People like the song. My fans like the song. It's on that weekly count. I have a weekly countdown. So I want to get your thoughts on this. And you can see it. So I'm going to play it and get your thoughts on this.
All right.
We won, you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. We won, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag. Thank God that we're back, couldn't take another 4 years. That's a wrap, I can take a bath in your tears. That's a fact, you got lipstick all on your beard. You're a man, that is cap, cap. You pretending you're accepting, that's an act. You hear pat. If you want our freedom, come and take it back. Bet you can. We won, you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. We won, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag.
They're trying to cancel me and say that I'm a racist. Got a mean hook, they can't get me with that jam. Trying to take away my right to go and say this. Well, listen up, cause this gun is going bad. With the facts. Why they trying to turn Becky into Dan?
All right, so I'm going to end there where she says, turn Becky into Dan.
Wow.
So what do you think about that? That's your former boss, right, on Roseanne?
Well, I would never call her my boss, but she was certainly a co-star.
Co-star, okay. So what do you think about that?
I think that it is wild. I can't believe what I just saw. And I have so many other feelings that have to do with what happened at the Capitol and her position that she's taken in supporting our president. It's certainly not an opinion that is of mine. I am not of that same opinion.
Okay. And are you glad that you saw this? That you worked with her for 6 seasons? Or would you?
Well, my relationship with her was extremely different. And what I'm seeing now, like on this video, I don't know who that Roseanne is because that's not the Roseanne I worked with.
But on the same contrary, I just want to play you this for a second. Her Roseanne podcast, just a little bit of sample of it, because her Roseanne podcast is very, very. She's more subdued. She interviews different people, okay, and she like I do, you know what I'm saying? And she's not as raunchy in the song, you know what I'm saying? If Roseanne said to you, "Come on the show," would you be on her show?
I'd have to think twice about that. Okay.
And I just want to just play you. Oh, hold on for a second. Let's do. This is how she starts off the show.
Okay.
I'm going to play this after the commercials playing over here, but this is like a this is a sample of her show. Let's see over here. Let me just share this video over here.
Okay.
And get your thought.
All right.
This is her podcast. I hear.
And all other beings. Greetings, Earthlings. and all other beings, the Nephilim, the Gaborim, the who else are they, Jake? The
Anunnaki,
reptilians, the Anunnakis.
Nephilim.
So that's a sample of it. What do you think about her podcast? Are you surprised that she has a podcast?
Well, I mean, she's an artist, and I'm sure that she still wants to work.
Sure.
And so that's one way she's able to continue working.
Sure.
And so I haven't seen enough of the podcast. I mean, I only saw maybe 30 seconds, so I don't know what that podcast is really about. I've never seen a whole podcast airing.
She's interviewed Tucker Carlson too before, Ashley. You know.
Okay.
And of course, back in the day when I first met you, that same year, Roseanne was at this LGBT bookstore in Atlanta, and I got to ask her a question, and I remember saying that I know you to her in the crowd, and she was very gracious to take a picture with my daughter, you know, at the time, you know, and I got to interview some. Other than her, I remember interviewing Meredith Baxter Burney from the Family Ties at this outright bookstore, which is out of business now, but it was in Atlanta, you know. So I had the opportunity to interview her one time, and then you for 16 years. So you know, it's just wild. But Roseanne was nice to me too. You know what I'm saying? So it was ironic. In the same year, I got to meet you and her. You know what I'm saying? But I met you first. You know.
I had no idea it was 16 years ago. That's amazing.
16 years.
Oh my gosh.
You've been on the Derek Shapiro show for 16 years. Now I have a cable show. My cable show now, I'm expanding my cable show. It's in Manhattan, in Duluth, Minnesota. It's all over Rhode Island, parts in Massachusetts, and you know, and it's on YouTube too. So, you know,
congratulations.
Thank you. So you still do your women's theater?
Yes, we celebrate our 32nd annual festival this year.
Yep.
And so that was pretty amazing, actually. And as always, we start off with our kickoff, and that's our Champagne Gala and Award ceremony. Mm-hmm. And we honored 7 women this year.
Wow.
And yeah, 7 women.
Yep.
And we were in 2 different venues. So for the Champagne Gala and Award ceremony, we were at a much bigger space, beautiful space called the Barnsdall Gallery Theater in Hollywood. And then we moved to a more intimate theater for the other 5 shows that we had. And we produced 21 women this year.
Wow.
But overall, in our 32 years, we've produced over 700 women from 6 continents. So the only continent that we have not had artists is Antarctica, which is kind of understandable. It's far away. It's very cold up there. It's a little bit isolated from, you know, being on the beaten path. So I don't know if we'll ever get artists from there, but we have had artists from 6 of the other continents.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Also, I want to mention too, since the last time I interviewed you last year, I was in LA for the first time last June, which I texted you. I couldn't believe it. I was on the Delta Airlines, and I saw Erin Brockovich in the plane.
That's funny.
That was amazing.
That's funny.
So, what do you think that people 10,000? I mean, whatever feet, 10,000 feet above in the sky could watch your movie. 30,000. Yeah. What do you think about that? That people can watch your movie on the airlines?
I think it's amazing. And you know, somebody not too long ago said, "You're not going to believe this, but I'm at the airport, and when I was on the plane, I saw Erin Brockovich." So you are the second person who just recently told me that they saw Erin Brockovich. And whenever I'm flying, I notice that it's one of the choices of the movies that you can see. So it's really a staple.
So do you put it on yourself? Do you put it on like if you're flying, if you could choose that movie, would you put that on and see yourself?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No, because that was my work. But when I'm on the plane, I'm more interested in seeing something that I haven't seen.
Exactly. So, see, me, when I was flying, unfortunately, no offense to that movie, but I needed to watch something because I'm a little apprehensive flying. So I had to put a comedy on, and that's not a comedy. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I would watch at home. You know what I'm saying? Or if now I'm watching a lot of movies on Tubi or Pluto TV, so I'm hoping that movie comes on because I don't have cable anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'd be watching stuff, you know, and also too, with people having Wi-Fi, people can watch YouTube on the plane too.
That's
So
right.
people can watch this interview on the plane too, you know, on the
That's
phone,
right.
you know. So it's pretty cool. Now also too, you have a retreat in Georgia still, right?
I do still, and it's called the Writer's Well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in Sharpsburg, Georgia. It's about 45 minutes south of downtown Atlanta,
Okay, so
and about
45 minutes
30,
south of
mhm,
Atlanta. So I live in
and about
Augusta
30
now.
minutes, and about 30 minutes south of the airport.
Oh,
And
okay.
so women have come as far away as Ghana, Puerto Rico, and throughout the United States. In fact, I just heard from someone today here in Los Angeles, and she said, "Oh, I've got to use my miles. I got to use my miles." I forgot which airline. She said, "I've got to use my miles. I have to book sometime in May." She gave me the date. And she said, "Can I come in October? I want to come in October." So I'm actually sending her a text message in return. I haven't finished it yet, but I want to check the schedule in October to make sure the dates that she wants are available. And if so, she certainly can come in October.
And how often are you there?
Not very often at all. Less often now than I used to be, but usually I will try, in the past for sure, to go down in July when I have this big gathering, a summer gathering. Everyone wears white, very spiritual. And then usually I'll come in December, maybe around the middle of December, end of December, and stay till maybe during the first week of January. So I'm there at the end of the year, but also at the beginning of the new year. And
Wow.
so those are the times that I generally try to make it my business to go. And I may try to go more often. The only thing is now with all these planes having these accidents, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I've thought about going more frequently. I'm just a little bit kind of concerned about all these planes that are falling out of the air right now.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you this much. When I went up to Rhode Island back in February, right? And you know, I took Delta to LA for the first time when I went, you know, with my son, and my daughter to go to Disney. You know, I'm in LA to celebrate his graduation last year. But when I went up to Rhode Island, I took Spirit, and the thing is, you never really hear anything about Spirit or Frontier, but mostly Spirit. You don't hear too many problems because they don't have a lot of room for error. So I think the extra safety for that, you know, because these other airlines, people will get them because it's a luxury to get Delta or whatever. But Spirit, when I went up, they might not have any movies of Aaron Brockovich, but at least you don't hear too many problems with their safety. You know
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
haven't heard anything about them in terms of safety now. I've flown with them, but only one time. I don't care for Spirit because, first of all, they nickel and dime you, I feel.
Yeah.
You pay your basic fare, and then by the time you have all these add-ons, add on for one suitcase, add on for two suitcases. If you have rollers on your suitcase, your carry-on, that might be a different charge. All these different things. By the time you get through, you've paid about as much as you would pay on a regular airline, in my
Sure.
opinion.
Sure. I only went up for a few days, you know, back in February to March, and I had everything in my bag over here. Then I found out I left my charger on my laptop. I had to go to Walmart to get a new charger.
Oh no. Did you
But
leave it at home or you left it in a suitcase that you had
no,
checked?
I had a carry-on bag in the plane, and
Oh, you only had a carry-on. Uh-huh.
yeah, and I put my clothes in there with my laptop. There, I'm recording you now, and then it cost me $20 for the new.
I've had that
Charger.
happen. I've had that happen. Like with my laptop, I've gone to Georgia to the Writer's Well and discovered that I forgot to put the charger in for the laptop. So I
Mhm.
had to go to Best Buys to get one.
Sure,
And I was like, oh my goodness. So
sure,
now I have an extra one that I can have down there. So I don't have to worry about that
sure.
anymore.
And now I live 2 hours away from Atlanta. Now I live in Augusta now. I want to move back to Atlanta area eventually, maybe, but Augusta is really nice. But now in Atlanta area, I could picture you working in Atlanta now because they have a new studio. It's Assembly, and
Actually, they have 4 studios down there now.
yeah, Tyler Perry.
His
Um,
is
um,
probably the biggest of all, but then they've got 3 others down there now.
yeah. So do you think you'll ever work in a studio down there?
I don't know. I don't know. If someone invites me to come and do work there and it's work I want to do, I certainly would be open to doing it, especially since I have a place down there.
Sure. Well, Adilah, any links you want to tell our listeners about?
Well, I just want to say, number one, I'll make it known when our movie's coming out. Love the Skin You're In. And also, what I want to say on another note, which totally does not have anything to do with the industry, is that I know that we are going through a very trying time in this country. And I believe that all of us, if we use our voices, and we see that happening now, we are able to make changes in the ways that we want to in our country. And that's very exciting and very empowering. And I'm very pleased to be a part of that.
Well, you know what's funny? You say that. It feels like we all can have differences. Like one of my co-hosts is very conservative. And then just recently on my show, I had this Jessica E. Blinkhorn on my show, who was at a Atlanta rally. No, not rally. The hands-off Trump protest, and he interviewed her with me on my show, and she's a disabled teacher. She's in a wheelchair, and we all could come together on one show. And your former colleague, but we all can respect each other's differences. I think that's
That's
what
right.
people are going to do. Respect each other's differences, but you could still be friends in some mean,
That's
and
right.
respect each
That's
other's
right.
differences because
That's
in
right.
today's
If
world,
we all respect that everybody has their own viewpoint, their own way of seeing the world, and as long as we are not harmful to anyone else, then I think that it's okay. It's
sure,
okay to have your own viewpoints of how you see what you see.
exactly. Well, it's been so many years. Hopefully, we continue this next year and the year after and the year after. 16 years now with Adilah
I
Barnes.
cannot believe it. That
Yes.
is amazing.
Amazing, and you're the only guest other than local guests I've had on the show. This religiously year after year for 16 years.
I'm
been a
blown
pleasure.
away. I had no idea.
Yes. So, it's just something. So I thank you again, Adilah Barnes. It's a privilege of mine to have you on my show again. And you're just a blessing to have, and a blessing to know,
You're very welcome, Derek.
Yes. I love to connect with you periodically and send you text messages. I say, oh, your DVD's in this store, your DVD's in this store, you're on a plane, so, it's very good, Thank you
for
very much.
being one of our ambassadors and fans. Thank you.
Thank you, Adilah Barnes.
Okay. See you the next time.
See you next time. All right, that's it for me broadcasting here in Greenville, South Carolina. First time me broadcasting here in Greenville, South Carolina. Events going to usually Monday through Friday. Here's dog doo-doo over there. Just want to make sure I didn't step in it. Events going today Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. D Shop in the morning on the networks at DerekShapiro.com, leading channel 1 DSSTVstation.com. On the networks at DerekShapiro.com, episode new episodes. Jump up for the Country Music 101, Proactive Radio, DSS Intentional Radio, HS Cost Music, Bougie and Shop section, also on 90s, 2000s, 2010s, TV.com, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, radio.com, rivradio.com, Open Minds, radio.com, Spotify for podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, TuneIn Radio, Public Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, Pandora Pocket Cast, Audible by Amazon, Amazon.com, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Don't forget new gospel news Monday through Friday and Sunday, 7 p.m. GospelRadioTV.com, and every Sunday, 9 o'clock in the morning, the Proactive Radio Top of the Countdown Show. DerekShapiro.com, episode, new episode, jump off for the Proactive Radio. Next month is a new season. We'll do a new theme song. Take it easy. Bye-bye.